Good afternoon, good evening, and good day. Good morning to those of you on the West Coast. Look, we're only 3 minutes late. The X Spaces is almost set up. Oh, there it goes. Now we just need to unmute me. And, well, I forgot to put the Bluetooth on. So let's go out of X, go over to Bluetooth, and go on over to the Roadcaster. And then connected for calls and audio. We'll go back to X. And now it says the Kacey is live. Yes, that's the video stream, which we don't need to be in 3 times. So we're already going to be in it twice. So let me move this over here. And at some point, now that I've got the desk space back, I'm going to clear out the space underneath the camera so that I can see this this here tablet, which is ginormous. Converts firewall rules into flow diagrams. Sounds useful. Musk says more Zoolander level scam BS. He is the world's richest conspiracy theorist. Converts firewall rules into flow diagrams. Unified firewall rules to graph converter. Unified Python package to convert pfSense and OpenSense firewall rules into graphical flow diagrams. That sounds like a really cool project. I do like that. Let's open that. Okay, but that doesn't do me any good to have a GitHub inside of X. So let's pop this out to a real browser. Chrome. I guess I never did set a default browser in this one. Chrome will work. Oh, Chrome will not work. We need to tell Chrome not to destroy my stuff. How do we do that here? Settings, and then something about page management or something. Archiving. I don't even know what to search for, or even how to search in Chrome Mobile. Password manager, privacy, Google services, taskbar shortcut, accessibility, site settings, downloads, about Chrome. Oh, there's tabs and groups under advanced, maybe? Automatically open tab groups from other devices. That would be fun if I didn't have hundreds of tabs open at a time at any one point in time. Share titles and URLs of open tabs with others, yes. But where's the one about automatically closing up junk? We don't want that. Unless it's synchronized, like the setting moves from device to device, and that'll be fine. All right, let's get back into X so that the X spaces doesn't collapse on us. Open up the X spaces and balance this thing precariously underneath the camera. Move those two cameras underneath it, blocking it. All right, there we go. That's stop sliding. Stop sliding. All right, so that should be good enough if I don't vigorously click on it or shake the desk. Move this on top. There we go. Now I can turn and rotate and such. Let's check out the chat. We got one in chat already. Apparently, the munchkin got to my mouse because the DPI is like at 300. Anders, good evening from Stockholm, Sweden. Good to see you. And whoops, I did not balance the tablet sufficiently. It was halfway off the desk by the time I looked over. There. You know what would probably help? If I take my wife's tablet off of the desk. We're going to reconfigure this into a smart display for the house or something. The phone company gave her a free one of the exact same thing with cellular connectivity. So she uses that now. All right, we'll put the phone up here on the charger. pull up our notebook. Before the notebook, we're going to pull up our YouTube studio to make sure the chat is configured correctly. Hey, Robert, good to see you. I think I figured out what's going on with the Facebook Messenger. They blocked it from the Mac, even though it's the same app as the iPad, and forced me to use their website. So perhaps they broke everything on purpose. That's my theory. All right, and so the next thing I need to do is I'm going to just pull up a tab somewhere. Where am I going to pull up a tab at? Not these guys talking. Can't take a Tesla off-roading skits. There's no reason to off-road Model 3, so let's reuse that tab. We'll go to studio.youtube, and then we'll go into. They say, congrats, your channel is 7 today. That is inaccurate because my channel is way older than 7. My oldest video is not 7 years ago. Let's go into videos. I haven't deleted much. I have turned stuff off. So let's go to the end. 1 through 30 is about 270. Go 50 per page. And tab over a few times. It's interesting I have a tab to the front, but not a tab to the back. Maybe the window is too narrow? Nope, that's not why. It's a design choice by our friends over at YouTube. All right, 250 of 271. Yeah, my first video published April 7th, 2009. And it's unlisted, but it's definitely out there. So 2025 minus 2009 is not 7. If I don't add the years together, but subtract them instead, I get 16. Congratulations, your channel is 16 years old today, not 7, YouTube. Channel's in need of celebrations of turning 16, eh? April 7th of 09. So it's actually about to turn 17 in just a few short months. Two videos uploaded April 7th. One uploaded August 22nd. Had somebody else's video uploaded December 21st. Seems to be a theme of mine. Other people's stuff on my channel. It's kind of cool. February 8th, 2010. 2 of those. Happened a dear friend who died of stomach cancer. Helped him get his Porsche online for sale. Then something from my iFi. Oh, these were customer testimonials. Those were fun. Then we had more customer testimonials through and through until we got to the Honda CR-Z ride and drive in Charlotte, North Carolina. That was in August of 2010. I think I did delete some videos, but most of these are just unlisted. Because why delete them? Why? Some of them were just pure history, like the 2004 Odyssey rear entertainment system and the Mazda 6 Grand Touring S. Of course, the 2007 Honda Ridgeline. That year was quite boring, wasn't it? 2010 was all about car, not really reviews. I wonder if I did the this. You guys know Doug DeMuro does the this. He did not start that. I was doing it before he was even online. Let's see how early I did this. These are people. Is that a rainbow? Did I do a video of a rainbow? Let's see. If it's worthy of sharing, I'll reshare it here. No. For some reason, I was recording out of a window without a wind muff. there's a new building under construction, or I saw a car. I'm not quite sure because it wasn't exactly easy to get the camera out and rolling back then. Either way, it's unlisted. Then we will see. Let's just take a look at my first video again because I can. Let's get a link to this video and we will share it in the video resharing situation. Let's go click on it and the interior overview of a Honda FCX Clarity. Yeah, let's do that one. Then we will do. Give me a link, please. No, I don't want to download it. Probably should download it. There we go. Give me a link. Copy link. Then we'll go to live shows. And then we'll go to edit the one we're on. And this is not even the right playlist. We'll make sure it knows it's a live stream. There. Done. Then we will say it is not a AI altered thing. And we'll save that. What are these little... Interesting. One of my YouTube plugins has changed their interface to something actually useful. We're going to go to customization. And yeah, the chat is actually right this time. Okay, so I will not complain about that. And we will go to the control center and make sure the audio is actually good on the video side. And Robert said he saw a Tesla taxi the other day. That's cool. And let's see, it's got a video picture. All right, so now we're going to go to unmute it and see how it sounds. That doesn't sound bad. It sounds kind of low. Is that me or is that? I'm talking into the microphone, so let me check this thing out. I know on Brian's channel over on Futuraza, when I'm in his streaming software, it will often make me really quiet. So let me see if mine has done the same thing. No, it's on auto. Okay, so that what I will do is try to remember to adjust it after the show. That way I'm not making you guys fiddle with your volume. All right, so let's go to move this over here where I can see it at the corner of my eye. In the notebook, I've got my insurance claim information from where the car ran into the UFO. So I just need to go change tabs just a little bit. And I put the wrong date on there. I wrote December 27th. But either way, it's the 28th and it works. And we'll get there in just a moment after we take this blast down memory lane. Right, so we are in Edge non-beta. So I need to find a copy of that. That's Edge beta. That's beta. We'll go ahead and minimize the ones that don't work on this screen here. Hey, there we go. Same folks. Let's go ahead to new tab and we'll paste and go. That's an interesting opinion. Okay, we'll pause this. And sure did take me a while to get this online from when it is when it was presented. Okay, so I've got you guys there, and I'm going to do a share screen. And then we'll do the FCX Clarity Ride and Drive 2009. Let's undo this screensaver. Hey, Robert's over here in the YouTube. Let's invite him to co-host. And not YouTube, on the X chat. And let's go to the X spaces. Let's share the screen. Then we'll adjust the view to the one that I like. And there we go. So yeah, YouTube, my channel is not 7 years old. Look at this. 16 years ago. Can you count? I don't think you can. They must have had the AI counting, huh? Casey Green was invited to take the FCX Clarity for a spin. You can't take a vehicle this expensive out for a drive while holding a camera, so most of this footage was caught as a passenger. Yeah, so our Honda rep, Crystal, she was driving for most of this video, and I don't know that anybody actually recorded me driving it. So, and it was owned by Honda at the time. They weren't quite leasing them yet. They were going to, so that's why I phrased it the way I did. So I was at Midlands Honda at the time, and I was working the midlandshybrid.com website. I had a little Honda Civic wrapped in this logo that I made up. And let's hit play. It's 2 minutes, 50 seconds long. Shouldn't be any music. Cameras were great back then, at least at the consumer level. I think it might even be technically HD, like 720p. Let's see. This is 240p. So that's not how I uploaded it, or how I recorded it, I should say.
Tim, do you get to go to lunch? No. You don't get to go to lunch.
There's Crystal.
I was going to offer lunch if you want to go to lunch. Now, see, I got Rachel.
Patrick sitting next to me. All right,
I knew that was coming.
Hit it really hard here and watch it squeal.
EVs, always have the torque. Just had the extra step of putting
What is
in
that
and
now?
That's
get the
hypermiling.
battery.
I was driving it the way I drive it.
Yeah.
They made fun of me hypermiling.
Oh yeah, he is.
No,
I would
I
have probably heck of a gas car.
Yeah.
I think that's great.
I do. That's
What you do over there?
everything.
Everything.
Yeah.
Not this light, but the next light when it's right on green.
What do I do in the
You know,
engine
Mr.
department?
Clamp it.
Yeah, Mr. Clamp is there. My last tank was 62 point, I think 8 miles per gallon for the whole 700 miles.
Really? On what was that?
Oh, my Civic Hybrid.
Hybrid.
Yeah.
You gotta work yourself
Well,
out.
this
Wow.
car gives off water, drinkable water right here.
Talking about how the hydrogen puts out water at the end.
Drinkable water. So we got somebody back there
I wouldn't drink
sucking
it.
wind, biking. They could just be like,
Well, it's hot water.
Wow.
It's hot water too, but the contaminants in the exhaust line are to be concerned
Yeah.
with.
I had him.
Whoa.
It's called Drink My Exhaust. They like that.
There was this
Yeah,
Drink my exhaust.
eco ball
Yeah.
in the screen that was
Like
kind
Kiss
of
My Grit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kiss my
kind of
grip.
fun
Where are you from,
to
Tim?
deal with. I made it turn yellow and red when I was
So, on these
Doing
tires,
speed
the
test.
mini.
Were
I
you
kept it
born and
green the
raised
rest of the
there?
way.
or-
You know, conserve
But I've
hydrogen
lived outside.
at $6 a kilogram back then, and now it's $32 a kilogram.
3D blue.
So that was $6 a gallon back then, and now $32 a gallon today. If you can even find a station. This was
These
when the
Michelins,
Columbia
are they
South Carolina station
custom or are
actually
they,
was open.
I bet they could buy them off the rack.
Oh, okay.
You know,
It
I was
didn't
a
stay
quick
open very
rider.
long after this.
That it was.
God, you were like
And
the
then,
girl
they
that
were bringing it
go-karts
back.
to always beat.
But then they did
like
not.
a rabbit in front of the Greyhound.
That I could tell. They did not.
Yeah, dangerous drag and drives.
So this was the Honda FCX Clarity. And instead of a dome light, it had a hydrogen sensor to make sure that there was no hydrogen leaking into the cab.
Not with strangers. But you work for
As you
Honda,
can see,
you
that
gotta
was
like
downtown Columbia. There were some of the other hydrogen cars, the Mercedes A class. I seem to have got a hair in my mouth. Let's see. Well, this guy says no more videos for a while. Sorry. I had to fact check this terrible Model Y review. Brittle? Question mark? Exclamation mark? That's why the interrobang was invented, so you can have both symbols in one. And the problem with the fastest EV charging, lucid gravity. Well, you've got lucid gravity on a Tesla supercharger, and I don't know if the gravity got around the issue of the other lucids where if you were on a 400 volt station like this Gen 3 right here, that it would do a terrible job of the up conversion and charge really slowly. So that might be what he's complaining about. Let's check out these comments some more. The stream is awfully quiet, says Brian. So it's not just me. So let me see what I can do to boost this without blowing you guys' ears out. Let's take a look at the let's pull up the Roadcaster software. And it blinked away as I typed it. Who knows what opens up now? Ah, the Roadcaster software. Select a device. The only one I have. Scene builder. We're not. I mean, we're doing video, but we're not yet building scenes because I have to do like I don't know. They don't even have tutorials, so I gotta like play with it, and I haven't had time to do that. And so we'll go to look at the device configuration. We'll go to audio. We've got our monitors. Our monitors are fixed. Multi-track recording is post fader. USB is also post fader, so that means that whatever I do will work. HDMI output is currently off, but I can have it do the live mix. Let's go to system. That is the right day and time. And time zone. The storage has got 87 megs used out of 120 gigabytes. That seems kind of small for this device. It should be a 512, right? Or 256. What is plugged in? It's a terabyte. What are you looking at? Oh, the SD card is 120. Fair enough. And USB. There we go. We're using 121 gigabytes of almost a terabyte, 931 and a half. Bluetooth should show this tablet. Yep. Info. Robert, how does it sound on X Spaces? Is it quiet there or is it normal?
No, it's pretty good, to be honest. I think it's the best it's been for a long time.
Okay.
I've also got you on the Facebook and on the TV as well. I switched to the TV for the YouTube, so I got Facebook running on there, and so all three. Also, I was going to say that I sent you to the DM. I actually got into the taxi. I was walking home, and there was no taxis there. And then the blue Model 3, the newer one, passed me. I turned around and went back to the taxi place. And I said to him, "I'm going to get the taxi." And it was £10 that day.
Wow.
Partly because of Christmas, but and that's for 2 miles. And also the tax now, the people are going to have to pay for this EV business, which has stumped a lot of people down that don't want to go for it because of well, they said it was going to be 3 pence a mile and one half mile for the other ones, the plug-in hybrids. A lot of people are not happy about that. So, I mean, also I went past those other chargers that have been partly built and not finished off, and the work seems to have just stopped there. As I say, I was noticing some things like that as well that's been happening, but I was trying to keep positive and getting out there and seeing what's new.
Nice.
And few other bits and bobs. But yeah, I was actually in that taxi. He had one of the newer updates.
Was the Highland?
Instead of the car
with the light bar on the edge? The Highland with the light bar around the inside of the car?
It's a Model 3, the newer one.
Yeah. Yeah, the Highland.
I'm not sure which one it was, but I got in it, and he was having problems after the new update. It was fogging up the windows, and he put the self-driving on. He had to stop it at one point and start again because he was having issues because of the fogging up with the windows. But he put the self-driving on.
Yeah.
And he was going down, and it was slowing for the speed ramps.
That's nice.
It even went around the potholes.
I do like that part too.
It really drove really well going. It was so smooth turning around things. I thought at one point that it was him driving, but it wasn't. And then when it got to my street, I had to tell you, you stop, you're 6 houses past.
Uh-oh.
And then he put the brake on. But,
said, boop, boop.
But yeah, it was really good. But I mean, it was just so smooth. And it was comfortable. And he said, "Yeah, the one he's got now, he's as I say, he has a little long, but this guy, he's the company owns the taxi, but he's just trying to work it out because he's not had the EV for long. So yeah, I knew more about it than what he did.
Nice. He'll take a little getting used to, but he'll get it. So how was the?
Yeah, I banged my head trying to get in
Uh-oh.
because he had to put the seat forward.
Oh man,
Saying because
you're a
I'm
tall
so
guy.
tall, it
Yeah.
was trying to get in there. So my head was on the roof. We put the seat fully back and angled it back, so my head's on the roof. My knees are up by
Oh man.
the squat position. It was hilarious, but
Yeah.
I loved how smooth it was on the bumps though, and compared to some other vehicles I've been in, where you really feel it. It
Yeah.
actually absorbed the bumps, and I just really was impressed by how well it drove on those roads, because those are not easy roads to do.
Yeah. And
And
those were
it's
some of the changes they made were to the rear suspension to help smooth out those bumps on all those new models. So, how was the audio on the video feeds on the others? Is it just YouTube that's low, or is it all of the videos that are low?
well, they seem pretty good on my one. I mean, they're pretty consistent,
Right.
and not too much gap between the latency of that. And yeah,
Okay. I manually adjusted it up and then set it back to auto. How's that sound, Brian? And okay, so I've got the notebook pulled up. Let's see what I've got in here. I've got a couple of tweets. Let's start with this one. I can't really read it; it's tiny. I did it on the phone, so it's a picture. Let's go on over here and reuse this YouTube tab, and let's see what we got. This is an X post, and we've got the first Autoland in an emergency was flawless, life saving. According to Live ATC and speaking of autopilot, right? Live ATC, air traffic control, and a pilot that heard the communication at the time. A robotic voice over air traffic control communication can be heard saying, pilot incapacitation 2 miles south, emergency autoland in 19 minutes on runway 3-0. So here we've got some screenshots. A plane landed at Colorado's Rocky Mountain Metropolitan Airport without a pilot's help on Saturday. That would be last Saturday, not the one past. In what appears to be the first real world use of new safety technology. According to Garmin, their emergency auto land system was activated for the first time ever for the landing at around 2 p.m. Saturday. The landing was successful, and the charter company for the plane told CBS Colorado that everyone involved was okay. According to Live ATC and a pilot that heard the communication at the time, robotic voice over air traffic control communication can be heard saying pilot incapacitation 2 miles south, emergency auto land in 19 minutes on runway 30. It came not long after taking off from Aspen's airport. Really? That's not good. You have an emergency right after taking off. Came not long after taking off from Aspen's airport. Reported a pressurization problem while flying over the Denver metro. Excuse me, Denver metro area. I guess that makes sense. Pressurization could knock you out. And was there another picture here? There's not another picture there or a reply, but it was related. Autopilot, literally in this case. So I wanted to share that with you guys. And I included a picture of it. And yeah, that was that one. Then we've got this one I didn't read. It was related to something we've discussed several times in the past about the turquoise lights that that Mercedes wants to have and is authorized to have in Nevada, I believe, when the car is in autonomous mode of some sort. So this is as a further development in that. Motor Trend is reporting that the autonomous driving mode lighting gets closer to being blue-green lit. The SAE marker lamp regulation is designed to signal to other drivers and pedestrians when a car is robo-driving. I still contend that I don't want other people to know this, and I'd prefer that maybe the police have some sort of augmented reality view, like their cruiser will say, "Hey, that car's auto driving, don't bother it," rather than just announcing it to the world. For pedestrians, that will cause them to be less cautious, and for other drivers, that will cause bullying and road raging when when they're doing what they do. I mean, it would be nice that if your car cuts them off, that they know. But I think that would just further enrage them. Like, it's one of all these blue lights, son of guns. Let's see, make sure I'm still kind of low, but you can hear me now. Okay, so what I will attempt to do is I'll raise this up and I will speak louder. Hopefully, that will be enough between the volume adjustment and the quality. You can use any color on lighting on the front of your car as long as it's amber or white. That's been the understanding for the better part of a century. But approving SAE J314, SAE J3134 underscore 2025 12, aka automated driving system marker lamp, ADS marker lamp. The standards folks at the Society of Automotive Engineers have taken the first step towards reversing that commandment and introducing a blue-green lighting that allows automated driving systems, or ADS, to signal when they are robo-driving. So, as I have told you in the past, it was a Mercedes thing. Mercedes does love themselves some standards, so why not submit your thing as the standard and get it approved, right? Road users spend a lot of time on subtle communication, and pedestrians might establish eye contact with a driver before crossing in front of their car. Drivers arriving at a four-way stop simultaneously often signal who should go first. Well, it's rare that you literally get there at the same time, and the computer's really good at figuring that part out, but sorry. Did not think that would come through the microphone. I also thought there was more ice in there. Signal who should come first. The calculus changes when cars drive themselves. Road users in the areas where Waymo 1 cars are in service have learned that heavily festooned white Jaguar I-Paces are always autonomous and hence never provide such signaling. So, but how can anyone tell if a Model Y or any other Tesla, for that example, is A, paid for the full self-driving hardware, and B, is currently testing version 14 beta software that allows the car to drive itself from start to finish on all sorts of roadways? Well, right now, except for the robotaxi ones that are labeled robotaxi, if there's robotaxi in your town, okay, but if there's not, then there's a human involved for now. I remember the first time I saw this in an auto show back in, was it 2009 or was it 2012? It was Cadillac. They were showing, no, or was it Jaguar? Mercedes. It was one of those premium marks, and they were showing off how the passenger could have the screen in front of them displaying a movie. Actually, it was right there in the middle, displaying a movie, and then the driver, because of what was the technology? It was like a not lenticular lens. I had it and it's gone. But the lensing technology over top of the display allowed the driver to see the navigation and the passenger to see their movie, and that was kind of cool. But now there's no reason for it not to be a movie once this autonomous driving thing is finished. Rather deployed. A driver who's sitting passively in a car that's driving itself may not be able to make appropriate eye contact or grant permission to proceed. Well, if you're not driving, then yeah, you shouldn't be granting permissions to proceed because you're not the driver. This is the point of J3134. Equipping cars that offer autonomous driving modes with blue-green marker lighting will signal to drivers that the person behind the wheel isn't making the driving decisions at the moment, and hence may not be capable of providing the communication an active driver would. I think that's actually going to cause even more road rage than just the blue-green lights, because they're on, and then somebody's doing something stupid, and then they turn off, and the driver is back in control, and then they turn back on again. What kind of things am I talking about? Fools that want to pass me on the right in front of a truck, and then after they pass me on the right, then they go slow as hell. Screw those guys. So So what do, I close the gap. Zoop. And yeah, well, how will they handle that? I never did leave FSD. I just nudged it to go faster. So do they think that FSD is a jerk, or do they think I'm a jerk? Interesting. Robert's got a X post for us to look at. Let's take a look here. Copy this link. We'll check it out in a moment.
It was a screenshot of my live stream when I was actually in the Tesla taxi. You can see the £10 charge, and you can see the screen
Okay.
when I was in the car.
Yeah, we'll take a look. Let's see. Elements in the head and tail lamps. Mercedes has been an early champion. Yep. They keep saying blue green instead of turquoise. I wonder why. Is that is there a reason for that? I think turquoise is a little more accurate than blue green, unless there's a reason they're calling it this way. Anyway, the head and tail lamps of the autonomous capable cars, as well as the side repeater lamps on the side view of the level 3 driving S-Class and EQS cars in Nevada, California too, and California. Cadillac also showed off the lighting as part of a preview of a hands-free technology in a future Escalade IQ pictured. Where? Oh, that's not the same thing as pictured, because that's the inside of the car. We don't care about that. This one considers the full front, side, and rear blue-green indicators to better align with what European UNECE and Chinese regulators are considering. Okay, so it goes a step further than what Mercedes was doing. They just kind of had the mirrors and the rear tail lights glowing turquoise. Cost of implementing the concept should be minimal, as the blue-green indication can be added to existing LED lamps or light pipe units that already indicate amber and/or red. Yeah, but blue and green, turquoise, are not in the spectrum of amber and/or red. So unless the thing already can glow white, then yes, that is adding costs to the vehicle, because while white is just blue hitting a phosphor, turning white, including blue or green or white in a unit that was only showing amber or red, amber and red are possible to do as single note, or single wavelength. So that's not. I mean, it might not be a large cost, but it's not free, especially if it wasn't something that could change colors before. This new color typically cannot be programmed into the same red amber light chips. Yeah, because okay. Take a breath. Take a breath. It typically requires an indium gallium nitride, GaN, working in the 500 nanometer scale, aka requires the LED hardware to be capable of doing it. Voluntary consensus. This is a voluntary consensus, not a standard nor law of the land. NHTSA may or may not decide to add blue-green light to the approved colors for use in the front of a car, but it may not feel the need to unless some manufacturers decide to start implementing other colors. Yeah. I can see that. So get ready for blue-green marker lights to start letting you know when you can blame a driver or computer chip for the driving behavior you're observing. So there could be some marketing branding genius that decides not to use the consensus, or had it not been any SAE, the licensing could have been extremely onerous, and so that would push them over. But right now, anyone who doesn't use it is doing it by choice, if they choose to do it at all. Interesting. I'm trying to get the everything lined up today, but it's not wanting to line up. So let's do this. Let's go to the comments. Frank, that's the author, not the comments. There are no comments on this one. Fine. Let's go ahead and take a look at Robert's screenshot, where he's riding in the Tesla taxi. There you go. It looks like a Highland to me. Not that the phone is down here instead of up on the phone charger. Merry Christmas. Hope you had a good day. Indeed. USB-C charger. There you go. Is that one of yours, Robert? The or is that one that you watched? The USB-C chargers.
The US. That's from Project Farms, where he does the testing. Just a moment ago, he puts a video always at the same time as you every week. He puts up good videos.
Oh, cool.
But yeah, £10 for the charge for 2 miles. Can you see on that man's phone?
Yeah. Wow. All right.
Yeah, that's pretty good. He has a lot of other good stuff too. But yeah, that was the USB chargers. He's just done that video.
Yeah.
It's on YouTube. Yeah.
And then the other item I've got in the notebook for today, we're going to copy the link. We're going to paste and go. We've got Car News China. All right, so you've heard not politician, but political. Well, yeah, politicians too, but politically aligned, either bad faith actors or just not very well informed voters complaining about the EV mandate in the U.S. There are EV mandates around the world. The U.S. was never one of them. So here's China. China is going to enforce the world's first mandatory EV energy standard in 2026, capping the 2-ton models at 15.1 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers. Does that mean you can't get more efficient than that, or that is where you must be targeting? 15.1 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers, and that would be, move the decimal place over to the left, right? Yeah, no, to the right actually. No, to the left. Two over to the left. So that would be 0.151 kilowatt hours per kilometer. And then how do I convert that over to the watt hours per mile? I'm gonna cheat. I'm gonna cheat. Copy that. Go over here, and then we'll say in watt hours per mile. And so that would be, wow, that's pretty efficient. 57.3 watt hours per mile. So either they're saying you can't get better than that, or you must achieve at least that. Let's find out. All right, so China will implement a new mandatory national standard governing energy consumption for pure electric passenger vehicles, effective January 1st. So in 3 days here, I guess 2 days for them, because their day is nearly done. According to China Central Television, as cited by IT Home, the regulation is the world's first mandatory standard for electric vehicle energy consumption and replaces China's previous recommended framework, giving it direct legal force over newly produced models. It's formally titled the Energy Consumption Limits for Electric Vehicles Part 1 Passenger Cars. Establishes binding electric consumption thresholds differentiated by vehicle curb weight and technical characteristics. Regulators stated that the limits were set after assessing the current energy consumption of pure electric passenger cars and the potential of energy-saving technologies, cost control considerations, and performance characteristics of special vehicle categories. Motoko cannot pass a doorbell without pushing it. Compared with the previous recommendations, the new mandatory standard tightens energy consumption requirements by approximately 11%. Yeah, that's not so bad. You must get 11% better by 3 days from now. It also introduces differentiated indicators that reflect variations in vehicle usage of those lights again. reflect variations in vehicle usage scenarios and technical solutions to accommodate diverse product development pathways and to guide future research and application of efficiency technologies. Okay, so you have a fuel economy standard combined. You did. You said two? I only heard one. Mm. All the time? Yeah, you do all the time. Yeah, yeah. I know it was you. I told them you can't push a door, we can't pass the doorbell without pushing it. All right, so I wonder if they chose the same color lights, or if it's just a matter of having the lights available and then you have to pick the right color per country. Although with it being SAE, assuming that China wants to join that one, they can just use the turquoise as well, or blue green, as Motor Trend was saying. Once the standard takes effect, manufacturers will be required to carry out technical upgrades on newly produced vehicles to ensure compliance. For pure passenger electric vehicles, with a curb weight of around 2 tons, the new requirement sets a maximum electric consumption of 15.1 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers. That is really strict. What did we say it was? 57.3 watt hours per mile. So for my 4 ton, yeah, 4 ton. No, mine's only 2 ton, 2.5, 58, 58. I guess it's almost 3 ton. Model X, the best I can get is in the mid 300s on a really nice day at moderate speed. I mean, I can get into the 200s at really low speeds with like a breeze of a tailwind, but mm, making it lighter and then making it less powerful are ways to get down there. 57.3 watt hours per mile, maximum consumption. Wow. Well, you see, they've they want to use some of their electricity for AI data centers too, right? All right, so the regulation applies specifically to pure passengers who do not cover plug-in hybrids or extended range models. The efficiency gains reported in official documents are attributed to system level improvements rather than increases in battery capacity. The other thing to look at, though, is this is probably on their, not the WLTP, because that's you guys in Europe. What's the Chinese standard they're called? Let's do this. Let's open up another new tab, and we'll do Model 3. Chinese fuel consumption rating. And the fuel consumption for the rating for the Tesla Model 3 in China is as follows: is 20.8 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers. And so 20.8, it sounds like it would fail. But is it heavier than 2 tons? It sounds like it would fail. And it's pretty darn fuel efficient. And so that would be the Model 3 rear wheel drive with a 132 miles per gallon equivalent combined in the city and highway. So 138 miles per gallon equivalent in the city and 126 miles per gallon equivalent on the highway on the Chinese scale. So now we need to know the curb weight of the Model 3 in China. Should be very similar to the curb weight here in the States. So they're at 1760 kilograms. And how do you guys do tons in China? Would it be kilotons or what? That's tons with an E, so those British tons? Hmm. Sounds like the world is going to have unless they were willing to forego some of the crash protections, it sounds like everybody who sells a car in China is about to make them really light. Additional policy measures will link the new energy consumption standard directly to financial incentives. I don't know. That is strict. Apparently, I reused my window. I didn't do a new one. I did not do a new one. Okay. No, I did. So, where did it go? Way on the other side of the tab list. And so we'll do that in MPG. We must achieve 134.82 miles per gallon equivalent US. Okay. Yeah, that's not terrible. Like they said, 11% better. So right now the Model 3 gets 132.8 miles per gallon equivalent. And it would need to get 134.82. They could probably do that with tires and a few more tweaks. But still, that is outstandingly tough. Vehicles already listed in the purchase tax exemption category catalog. Sorry, where's my mouse? There we go. Already listed in the catalog by the end of 2025 that comply with updated requirements will transition into the 2026 catalog, while non-compliant models will be removed or may be removed. Sorry. All right, so it sounds like you get a year to make it happen if you already are there. The same policy package also raises technical thresholds for plug-in hybrid and extended range vehicles, including higher minimum pure electric driving range requirements. Good. And the requirements for incentive eligibility. In July, the Ministry of Industry and Information Technology, National Development and Reform Commission, and the State's Administration for Market Regulation jointly emphasized accelerating the introduction of energy consumption and battery recycling standards. Battery recycling is good. During a new energy vehicle industry symposium. So basically anything that's not a pure gas car symposium. The mandatory energy consumption standard will take effect nationwide on January 1st. So this isn't coming out of left field for them. They've known about it since July. All right. Oh, there goes. Perfect. For major Chinese automakers such as BYD and Geely, the new regulation formalizes efficiency thresholds that many of their newer pure electric passenger cars already meet. Compliant vehicles can continue production with minimal changes, while non-compliant models may require technical upgrades or be removed from production and from purchase tax exemption eligibility. The standard primarily affects 2-ton class vehicles and other heavier models, prompting automakers to prioritize energy efficiency improvements across platforms and trim levels to remain competitive under the new regulatory and fiscal framework. Comments? With Tesla setting the energy efficiency standard, the Chinese are being pushed to follow rather than loading up battery size, wasting resources, and compromising handling, etc. A very good move, one the consumer will appreciate on our roads. I don't know that that's what I got from reading that article, but sure. Not sure why anyone would continue to use the Musk Mobile as a standard for anything, certainly not in the Chinese car market where there are so many better choices for less money. For example, the FSD system is outdated in performance and compared to hardware 4. What? You comparing it to itself? Um, uh, not just considering the logical knots this guy just tied. We all just watched a few months ago the or at least skimmed through it for me. I watched it and then on here I skimmed through it with you guys. The what was it? The 50 car challenge in China for cars that could pass the test of some of their automation experts, and the Model 3 and the Model X came out in there. The Model X was running hardware 3, and the Model 3 was running hardware 4. And just 2 other Chinese brands actually passed enough of the tests to not get knocked out because they did a video game 3 lives um, paradigm, and those 4 cars were the only ones that came out of it with a life remaining. So I'm not sure how half of the test winners are suddenly not good. I suspect you've been keeping up with sales, haven't been keeping up with sales year to date in China. Likely to be a record year for Tesla sales, if not very close to catching up on lost sales in the model changeover earlier this year. Since the release of a 5-meter long, 6-seat, oh, that's right, they got the Model Y L there. 5-meter long, 6-seat long wheelbase, all Teslas for delivery in 2025 were booked out in November, with the website showing most variants still not available in February 2026. So they were sold out from November, or in November, they were sold out through February of 26. The standard cheapest variant hasn't even been launched yet. So they didn't have the standard range there. Interesting. Uh, the the Chinese auto regulators started a FSD annual test of systems available. Okay, it's the same test we looked at. From memory, 5 were selected. Tesla got the highest scores, 3 out of 5 stars, and then using FSD version 13, now superseded by version 4. Oh, that's right. It wasn't even V14. It was early V13, and the Model X was on V12. But it wouldn't exactly be FSD. It would have been whatever they called it in China, because FSD isn't similar to Europe, is not allowed there, but unlike Europe, I say not allowed there, but like Europe was, because they're now members of the European continent. I don't know about the EU that are allowed to use some version of FSD. The whatever they called it in China at the time was like FSD Lite, basically. It was FSD and everything but name. But yeah, he's having the same test. Tesla got the highest score, 3 out of 5 stars, and Huawei with 2 out of 5 stars. So Huawei, and then there was one other Chinese brand that got it. Bertrand Russell says that Tesla sales in China up to October 25 were at a 3-year low. Are you saying November sales reversed that? Do you have a source? If you looked at the month of October, yeah, sure, they might have been low because that was a. You can't look at 1 month with Tesla. Oh, there's still ice in there. See, the Model Y long range started selling at the end of September. For the month of November, it accounted for approximately 17% of Tesla Model Y sales. A runaway success story, selling not only at a higher price point, but also a profit point. Factory is reported running at max production with extra people employed to deliver everything they can to customers by the year end. Tim says sales were down 8.3%. Market share decline. You can't. Market share doesn't really matter. The year-over-year sales do matter. The market share doesn't matter because if there are is a bigger pie and you're getting less of the new big pie, but you're still selling more than last time, Who the freak cares? All right, and we will get out of their little argument there. One more thing they should do is stop using the absolutely inaccurate CLTC range standard and adopt the WLTP. If you're gonna get off of wildly inaccurate fuel standards, don't jump onto another one that's also wildly inaccurate. Join us over here in North America with the U.S. EPA and the whatever the heck Canada uses. Ours actually reflect real life more often than not. They're still not good, but they're not a fantasy land. It's intended to represent the typical Chinese driving, not European. When they sell the cars in Europe, they use WLTP. Because they don't have a choice, you have to sell it with whatever has been approved to sell it with. That's what I thought too, but then I saw a few YouTubers driving in China and consumption on the dash was 16 to 18 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers. So no magic. It's similar to what most EVs would get in Australia. Oh, do you guys use WLTP down there too? I'm sorry. Long trip consumption will be the same, but that's not what test cycles measure anywhere. They do here. They do here. We drive. We drive on the open road, getting on Route 66. What's left of it? I drove Route 66. That was fun. The Chinese cars often use both even safety standards out there as well. What? This guy, is he typing drunk? These vehicles are so globally, so it's advantageous to conform to all standards. China's leader in EVs, they chose to set the standard as they please. Nobody talked about the decam turquoise lights. I thought that was pretty relevant. Anyway, all right, so we got Robert's taxi. We got talked about turquoise lighting, and we talked about. So it was an autonomy day for us on the notebook, and then I ran out of notebooks. So let's peruse the other folks in the field and see what they come up with. See what's a TikTok news story according to Inside EVs there. And at some point, I was supposed to have done it this week, but people kept monopolizing my time, and I did not finish my video of the manning Tesla supercharger with 60 stalls. I've got the videos on the server, but that's as far as I got. 20 new EVs are coming in 26. All major EV battery chemistry is explained. We'll take a look at that. And Doug wants to explain why EV prices are crashing. Is it Doug? That looks like Doug, but it says Chad Sibataki. Let's see. What videos? What businesses have EV charging stations? Anyone that wants them. I need you to take it back to Hertz. Florida tow truck driver picks up Kia EV because the driver let the battery go to 0%. Well, that sucks. No more radars. Tesla driver shows off cop mode. Is it legal? And what is cop mode? That's definitely one of their TikTok news things. So we'll see what they're saying about there. Woman spends $4,000 on a new battery for her Toyota Prius. Then she checks the engine. This is what I get. Tesla will charge you $150 if you puke in a robotaxi. We talked about that ages ago. Hyundai's next act, raising its autonomous driving game. I see a top hat on top of that Hyundai, so not the way I would go. And given that, Rivian and Tesla and a few others have solved this without top hats. Or not as they solved, but their cars aren't wearing top hats. Make the affordable EV beating Tesla and BYD at their own game. The latest EV outsell even Tesla Model Y and the BYD Seagull. China. So speaking of China, let's see what they. Is it the new Wulong Mini? 26 Volvo EX30 is better than ever, but it's not the best on that platform. So they're saying it's not as good as the Polestar. why this 25 Hyundai Ioniq needs a new battery. They run over something. I tried Mercedes' new in-car AI assistant, but I was sad to give it up. Okay. Here's the Nissan Ariya facelift that won't reach the US. Yeah, because the Ariya is gone on hiatus in the US because they want to push Nissan Leaf. They don't want to split them up for whatever reason. You need to lease them. This is how the used market for EV seller claims it's non-existent. Sounds like another TikTok story, if ever. I ain't never felt nothing like that. Dad mocks daughter for buying a Tesla, then he drives it. Why are used EV prices crashing? What the Cybertruck was supposed to be. Auto enthusiasts highlights the features of the Scout EV. Will it be a hit or the next ID Buzz? Well, the ID Buzz has left the nation, just like the Lightning as we know it. So, woman sits in the front seat of a Waymo. She didn't know there would be consequences. It depends on which front seat. I know they want you to be in the back, but I can't really see any consequences except if she sits in the driver's seat. So, I'm curious. Silverado EV driver stops at Kentucky Buc-ee's to charge. They have only Tesla chargers, but he is lucky. Lucky that he brought his adapter. Lucky that he's driving a 26 and it already has a port, an AX port on it. Lucky that it wasn't a Tesla only station. I don't know. Lucky what? This Tesla Model 3 has nearly 240,000 miles. Here's what's broke. Upper control arms, the PTC heater, the steering wheel wrap, the wiper blades. Let's find out. Rivian's adorable toy car set might be the perfect last minute gift. Well, it's too late now. It was too late when you had the news on the 25th. Come on now. This will be Hyundai's biggest EV yet. We'll see. Stuff is blinking over here. I don't know why. Probably because I opened too many tabs. This Renault EV averaged 8 miles per kilowatt hour at highway speeds. That's a pretty looking car right there. I tell you what, reminds me of some of the Duesenberg and Rolls Royces of the early 1900s. Here's why Waymo robotaxis freaked out during the San Francisco outage. Excuses, excuses. I love EVs, but I'm happy the bad ones are getting canceled. Update. And that is an opinion. There's a take. Kia's PV5 makes the VW ID Buzz look excessive. Excessive meaning what? Volvo's smallest EV struggled in America. The two new EX30 versions might change that. Drove Tesla's budget Model Y Standard. It's not worth it. We've heard a couple of opinions on it. I like the standard Model 3, and the standard Model Y is going to depend on what you value in a car. 2026 Kia EV4 simplifies the formula. Am I on an endless scroll here? The new Tesla supercharger extension cable fixes all of its predecessor's problems. I was starting to watch this with Tom Malogny, and then Makoto wanted to watch music videos, and so I did not finish watching it or even get to the meat of the issue. So it looks like it's better, and I didn't see any caveats announced right up front. The dark side of Tesla's door handle tech. Plus, Nissan dealers want more hybrids, and the $35,000 Cybertruck is coming. Just not how you think. A used car. This silicone anode breakthrough could mark a turning point for EV batteries. Update. All right, we will read it for the update. Normally, with these new battery announcements, I wait and see until there's actually something that we can discuss. It's easy to announce stuff and much harder to actually get it to market. EV sales in Europe are on track for a fantastic year. Here are the winners and the losers. And how much EV range anxiety drops when you actually own an EV. All the way. Assuming that you can charge it easily and comfortably. All right, so let's see what the first one is here. Let's close the tab. Oh, wait, I don't want to close the tab we're on. I want to scroll down and share this tab instead, and then close the tab that we were on. Let's see what chemistries they discuss here. Lead acid, nickel metal hydride, lithium manganese oxide. There's a Volt battery, Gen 1. I had a couple of them. Yeah, 2 of them. Nickel manganese cobalt. Don't know why that looks like a BMW, but it's not. Ah, photo by Porsche. That's why it was German. Nickel cobalt aluminum. I've had a couple of these. NCA packs swap the expensive manganese with aluminum, which improves the cathode stability, reducing degradation. And some battery makers also add aluminum to the existing mix, creating the NCMA chemistry. That's actually what I had 2 of. Lithium iron phosphate. I've got some of those in the garage, and a dead stack of them right there next to me. I like this chemistry. The stack of the batteries is not dead. It's the AC charging and the AC discharging is toast on that unit. So I will need to open it up and extract the batteries at some point because they're still good. Oh, and then I've got 2 more of them behind me. Lithium manganese iron phosphate, LMFP. Lithium manganese rich. Never heard of that one before. Silicon anode or silicon synthetic graphite. I've had some experience with these. Lithium metal, just like straight metal. That's not common. Excuse me, my factorial. Sodium ion. It's just getting started here in the States. Solid state batteries. Someday. Yeah, semi-solid has finally made it. This guy is scamming. This needs some editing. I thought this was relatively well written. A good summary at least. What did I miss? Silicon anodes on Chinese phones are from Group 14 Technologies. They use their SC55 technology, and Samsung is on course to produce solid state batteries in 2027. And we'll see. In fact, they are releasing a SSB starting with the Ring next year. It was supposed to be this year, but litigation happened. I'm not holding my breath on the solid. I'm sure it'll happen. But all the people saying it's going to happen XYZ date. All right. No more radars. Is Tesla driver shows off cop mode. Is it legal? This cannot replace radars. Tesla driver garnered interest from drivers on social media after showing off what looks like a police scanning functionality on his EV's cabin display. TikTok user Jesus Jelvico posted a viral clip of the software in action, which prompted a wave of comments from other folks on the app. As it turns out, the application on his Tesla is actually one of several web browser solutions, but are they a reliable traffic monitoring tool? So is this the in-browser Waymo, or not Waymo, in-browser Waze replacement? That's what it sounds like. At the onset of the clip, Jesus records himself driving with his camera directed at EV's large infotainment screen. At first glance, it's an image anyone who's ridden inside of a Tesla will recognize, an animation of the cars driving down the road. However, a map with detailed street information to its right shows flashing red and blue lights. Accompanying his video is the sound of the Police by KRS-One. So I guess we're not watching this one here. Or at least we're not watching it with the sound on. The imagery combined with a brief caption appended to the video indicates that the functionality Jesus was able to obtain in his ride. No more radars. His browser app tells you. Commenters replied to his clip explained that this functionality isn't an official application offered by Tesla software engineers, but rather a third-party browser solution that can engage that scans local areas and lets drivers know where police are in the area. Go find Tesla Nav. Yep, I figured it was something we already knew about. So let's take a look at Tesla Nav here directly. One person in the app wrote in response to the clip, According to Tesla Nav's official website, the application is a web browser. I guess I don't want to dox myself. Let me see what this looks like here in the. Keep this free. We always add free. Your support helps server costs. Real time presence. Got it. Timeout expired. They want to know where I am for good reason. All right, so rather than waste any more time on the TikTok article, here we can see traffic in wherever user denied a geolocation. I sure did. That is definitely me. Huh. Extremely high sugar, not low. Normally, when my wife makes waffles, I have 1.5 waffles. Today, I had 2 waffles, not 1.5. I shall not do that again. All right, so we can see there's a speed camera here. Here we can see there's a 3 reports in the area hazard. So yeah, this is like Tesla Nav is exactly like Waze in the browser. Where are we? In San Francisco? Okay. Here we can see police. El Camino Real. Oh, excuse me. So that's not an ad for these guys, but that's teslanav.com there. It's something you put in your own browser if you choose. Woman spends $4,000 on a new battery for her Toyota Prius, and she checks the engine. This is what I get. I'm going to buy a Hummer that burns coal because I'm done with hybrid vehicles, she says. Well, that's a mature response. Let's see. Close to going back to being a carbon-based motorist because of the looming repair issues with her hybrid. Replace the spark plugs and the coil packs. Well, you see, any Hummer that's not a Hummer EV will still have engine issues eventually. From battery anxiety to engine panic. Several viewers noted that spark plugs and coil packs are rarely the root cause of serious engine issues on Toyota hybrids. And that replacing parts without pulling diagnostic codes can quickly become an expensive guessing game. Yep. Others pointed out that high mileage Prius engines sound rough under specific conditions, particularly during cold starts, without being mechanically ruined. Battery replacement itself became a significant point of debate. Commenters were shocked by the price. Yeah, she way overpaid for that, unless it's a newer model. And even then, she way overpaid for that. Well, it said it sounded about right, depending on where the work was done. Yeah, she got done at a dealership. And what kind of battery was installed. Industry data and reporting shows Prius battery replacements cost vary wildly. Brand new OEM battery installed at a dealership can reach $3,500 to $4,500 with labor. Refurbished or remanufactured or reman packed from an independent hybrid specialist is often significantly cheaper, but they come with trade-offs in warranty length and long-term reliability. Toyota's older Prius models use nickel metal hydride packs, chemistry known for durability and thermal stability. And according to Toyota, long-term fleet operators, these last 10 to 15 years or more. And when they fail, it's often due to individual cell degradation rather than total pack collapse, which is why some owners opt for cell-level repairs or refurbished units. Okay, so she doesn't know what's wrong with her car, and people are clowning her for it. I think she deserves it. Simply because, you find out what's wrong before you start replacing parts. Hyundai's.
Yeah, I was watching that other video
Yeah?
the other day where they didn't realise there's a filter with the other Toyota where you just pull it out of the back seat and clean the filter because it was all clogged up.
Mm-hmm.
The cooling one on that one. And then the older one, I watched that Chris Fix video where he was taking out the battery and putting the other one in.
Mm.
That was a good video.
I think you shared that one with me. It was pretty interesting. Where he did it all in his backyard or front yard in the driveway. And it didn't
Yeah,
it,
it
it
was
didn't take him
good.
very long.
That one with the filter was a good video. The garage guy did. But a lot of people didn't even know the filter was there. So yeah, it's just because it's just underneath the seat, and people don't know that it's there, and that's caused the problems with those batteries and total in the car. Then
Oh wow.
and then yeah, so they said they were not paying 15 grand to get this done.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Not to change the
they've gone
filter.
back to yeah, just change the filter. Yeah, and they wouldn't have that problem, but they didn't even know they had a filter to change.
Wow. So in this picture for the Hyundai here, I'm seeing 1, 2 LiDAR in the front and 4 on the top at least. It's a lot of LiDAR units. The Korean automaker makes some of the best EVs you can buy today. Now closing the gap with Waymo has become a top priority. When you buy an EV from Hyundai Motor Group, you're getting a car with lots of range, tons of style, and impressive performance. Some of the finest charging speeds in the business, depending on what you plug into. What you're not getting is something that will let you take your hands off of the wheel during a long highway trip. Yeah, that costs real money. Or handle complex city streets, traffic lights, and turns under human supervision. So it's not got the Tesla or Rivian or Cadillac, Chevrolet, Ford Blue Cruise systems there. And this, I would say that's probably because their customers don't value um, such a thing, because they put their money where the customers are going to be. So they won't put it into suspension, but they will put it into a hands-free starting system. Let's see. Keeping up with Tesla, Waymo, and GM is about to be the major focus at Hyundai, according to multiple recent news reports. The Korea Herald reports that Hyundai Motor Group executive chair Yoo-sun Chung visited the company's Korean autonomy subsidiary called 42 Dot earlier this week and took a test ride in an autonomous Hyundai Ioniq 6. I mean, eventually most cars on the road are going to look like these bread boxes right here. Unless they're privately owned. Privately owned will still look probably pretty slick. But most of them are going to look like these bread boxes. I drive an Ioniq 6. It certainly isn't hands-free, but the combination of adaptive cruise control and lane keep is still quite useful for taking the stress out of long-distance highway driving. And yes, it does require I stay alert and keep my hands on the steering wheel. I don't have a problem with that as long as we're far away from fully autonomous driving, as I suspect that we are. So this person is suggesting that Tom here is saying that he's fine that he's got a really light system if he thinks it's really far away. I don't think we're as far away as he thinks we are, but I don't necessarily think that we are legally all over it just yet. We'll see in the next few days if we see any of these empty Teslas actually picking up and dropping off people. I hope we do. But it may be sometime in the next quarter because, like I always say, Elon can't tell time to save his life with any kind of time measuring device available, from a wristwatch to a calendar, an annual calendar. All right, so next up we've got meet the affordable EV beating Tesla and BYD at their own game. And is that a Wulong? I think it's a Wulong. Geely's latest EV is now outselling even the Tesla Model Y and the BYD Seagull. So maybe not. Geely. The Geely Jingwan. You got a cut on your finger. How'd you do that? You touched the light. What light can you reach? Hmm. The Geely Yinghuan is taking on China's best-selling EVs like the BYD Seagull and the Tesla Model Y. In just 14 months after its launch, Geely has sold over 500,000 units of the Jinghuan. It could potentially end the year as China's top-selling EV and one of the world's best-selling electric models. You got a few days to find out. And it's by Geely, aka the people who own Volvo and Polestar and Zeekr. But this one is being sold directly as a Geely, it seems. In a short span of time, it's already one of China's top-selling electric models. It even dethroned the Seagull and Tesla Model Y. But did it dethrone the Wulong Mini? Of course, that's not considered to be a full-size car for many people. From January to November, Geely has sold nearly 430,000 units of the Jinghuan, more than any other EV. Congrats. Congratulations. It looks nice inside, comfortable, kind of plasticky, but hey, if it's cheaper, that's all right. So you got a nice size binnacle display, a nice large center display, and looks like you probably have an optional passenger display. Smaller pack delivers 192 miles of range, while the battery is good for the big battery is good for 254 miles. Hey, that's about what mine can do. A little bit less. A little less than mine can do today. It's kind of cute. I don't understand the subtitle. Tesla hasn't even attempted to produce a car in this price range. They're just saying units because the Model Y was doing very well in China for many months. Their best-selling car price is so meaningless when nearly every other maker has its sales divided up between a dozen or so models. Total sales per brand or parent company might be a better metric. Tesla might be doing better if it bothered to make a few more models. Maybe. Geely's remarkable success story it is tracking to be the number 8 largest automaker in the world this year. Li Shufu has delivered a steady and focused 25-year push from 415,000 to 4 million. Impressive. This year they will overtake Honda. Next year they'll overtake Ford and become number 7. Wow. They already have manufacturing and sales in every major market and a highly diversified product portfolio. Rear-wheel drive may handle better on dry roads, but you really need front-wheel drive for snow and ice in an economy vehicle without all-wheel drive. Nice looking vehicle though. Christoph, have you driven an EV? EVs with rear-wheel drive do just fine. The front-wheel drive thing is important if you have an engine, a nice large lump of metal to put over the front wheels. So that's all I have to say there. Why is this 2025 Hyundai Ioniq needs a new battery? P1AA700 issue explained. Some early 2025 model Ioniq 5s may experience charging issues. Don't worry though, the fix is usually a free battery replacement. It's so simple. I would hope it'd be like a software update, not battery replacement. Ouch. I mean, I do like getting free new batteries, but I like to remind people they really do not have to worry about their EVs. Batteries. The vast majority of all batteries survive until the car is crashed. Mechanically totaled, or travels over 300,000 miles. I would say not even that is usually an issue. A small subset have inadequate cooling or bad battery management and degrades by that point, and a few others have manufacturing defects, like mine, which almost always will require in-warranty replacements, which it did twice, once on each of my Teslas. File this. Hyundai Ioniq 5 in the last category. A small subset of early production 25 Ioniq 5s The first models built in North America with NACS plugs may experience a charging issue where the voltage difference between battery cells prevents high voltage battery from fully charging. Cell imbalance is never good. TSB has been filed with NHTSA and reads the solution is to replace the battery. That only makes sense. There's no getting around that one. But if you want to see what the experience of a growing battery voltage differential looks like, watch this video below from the Ionic guy. Founder Corbin runs one of the best channels for Hyundai issues because he's currently on his third Ionic vehicle and his second Ionic 5. I will watch this out of curiosity. Charging speed continued to slow until eventually the car would not fast charge at all. Level 2 charging worked until eventually the battery died. And knowing what we know about the voltage differential, this tracks. Electric car battery packs are made of hundreds of cells or more, and they all must be charged and discharged equally. Yep. Battery packs are not stable when cells are imbalanced, which can lead to dangerous conditions. Yeah, if one is overcharged, it can alight. And if one is undercharged, then it can permanently be damaged. And because of the way these things are run in series parallel, you're at the mercy of the highest cell or the lowest cell. So if you're trying not to catch the thing on fire, when the highest cell is full, the lowest cell must stand where it is. And if you're trying to do something about the lowest cell, well, you better hope you don't set the highest cell on fire while you do it. And if you do both, you stop at the highest cell and then stop at the lowest cell. For stop charging at the highest cell and stop draining at the lowest cell, then that can restrict your operating range for trying not to kill the lowest cell. So it makes sense. Hyundai already has the ongoing and never-ending ICCU issues. They're not really going to make their EVs. They're really going to make their EVs tainted if they don't start getting control with that. ICCU issues seem to go on and on. I'm glad I didn't lease one last year. Fair enough. Check a number of Ionic 5 forums. Quite a few people are chiming in on the failure of the ICCU. Some say that 1% to 2% of owners have this happen. So I will try not to worry when I am in Eastern Oregon going with 120 miles to a one-horse town that may have a working tow truck. Yeah. I was interested in a used Hyundai until reading so many articles about how many issues the car has. From the 12-volt battery to the ICCU, it seems that they can have serious issues and long waits for repair. Let me know if I'm wrong. I wouldn't buy Hyundai until they clearly communicate the issue and a reliable fix. The people who've replaced the ICCU to have it fail again. I was not aware of that. The lack of a fix and transparent communications are really hurting them. At one point, there was even a long back order of the ICCU, which really blew this issue. Yeah, there was that. I didn't realize they still hadn't fixed it, though. Rest in peace. These EVs won't make it to 26. Toyota once built a coupe that weighed under 1,000 pounds. They sure did. Change tabs on us. I hate it when it does that. All right, let's see. You got the Acura CDX. We knew that. The Chevrolet Bright Drop commercial van. Unfortunately, we knew that as well. The Dodge Charger SRT Daytona Banshee Fresonius, Wake the Neighbors Loud, nostalgia names. We suspected that, but there we go. The Ford F-150 Lightning. The Genesis electrified G80. This makes sense. They told us this was limited run, and it looks like it has run out. The Maserati MC20 Fogelor. I didn't know this thing existed. It's pretty. Maserati called it quits on a planned electric version of its MC20 supercar called the Fogelor. Yes, folks, I am now learning that Maserati was working on the MC20 because more power, more weight, and less noise, exactly what the car needed. You see. The company rolled out a facelifted MC20 earlier this year with the new name McPura. I can't prove it, and Master will likely never admit it, but $20 says that McPura was what the electrified one was supposed to be called. I don't know that you can count one that was never on sale. Mercedes-Benz EQB. I've seen a few of these. Unfortunate. I was today's years old when I learned that the Mercedes-Benz EQB was a real car. Mercedes has been selling to real people for the last 4 years. Mercedes-Benz EQE is sedan SUV. They canceled all the EQEs? EQE and EQS are Mercedes EVs with I've definitely heard of, but that hasn't stopped them from getting put on hold here in the US. Aww. That's what happens when any pressure has been removed to do the right thing. The Nissan Aria we knew of, but the Nissan Leaf is here to stay for a while. Polestar 2, that makes sense. The Porsche flagship SUV. The Cayenne Electric is still happening, but it was originally supposed to come with an even bigger SUV from Porsche. So that's the second car that's not actually been completed. That's gonna be canceled. Okay. With the Ram electric pickup truck gone, we knew about that one, but the extended range one is supposedly still coming. We'll see. The Volkswagen ID7, yep, never made it to America though. ID Buzz, bye bye. 25 years of teasing people. Finally came to market and was nothing like what they said. There we go. Next year, the Dodge Charger Daytona Scat Pack canceled. And no, it's not a muscle car. Mark my words, the Charger EV is getting axed completely probably next year, and no one will cry. Yeah. Must have been one of those non-existent pony cars. Advertising. Acura was eating more than half the lease cost on the ZDX, so not a shock they are axing it. Plus, it was also a GM with Acura badges on it, so why not? It is Doug. That smaller window, I wasn't sure. Blah, blah, blah. All right, here's the Aria we won't get to see in North America. It doesn't look that much different to me. All right, well, good on them. Continuing on. This looks like another TikTok story of theirs. You need to lease them. How is the market for used EVs? Seller claims it's non-existent. I get it. It goes against everything we're taught. Actually, as a car salesman, I was taught that you wanted to lease cars. Not just as a salesman, but as a customer. A conflicted car seller has issued a PSA for folks who want to buy or finance EVs. They shouldn't. Auto sales rep Braxton Epps has published a TikTok video explaining that folks shopping around for new EVs should probably lease them instead. Because in his experience, the trade-in values of used EVs depreciate at an alarming rate. Yes, they do. That's kind of what happens to most of these high-tech vehicles, EVs or not. That the technology just keeps advancing, and so the next one is gonna have all the cool stuff, and yours won't. Unless you're gonna keep it a long time like me. If you can leasing is not a bad option. If you can't lease, then yeah, be careful what you buy and what you expect out of it. Keep it on going. What a woman sits in the front seat of a Waymo, says she didn't know there would be consequences Well, yeah, if you sit in the driver's seat, that's exactly what I called out immediately upon reading the. A representative comes on and yells at you, by the way. In a car with no driver, every seat looks like a passenger seat, and that assumption, however, turned a routine Waymo ride into a canceled trip and sparked a surprisingly heated internet debate. A viral clip from TikToker Melika uh, captures her friend in the off-limits driver's seat of the vehicle. As one should expect from an automotive entity owned by Google's parent company Alphabet, it didn't take long for the tech giant supervisors to learn of the infraction. It didn't long for the tech. A representative comes on and yells at you, by the way, Melka wrote in the caption of the clip, which has been viewed more than 892,000 times. Waymo has long maintained a strict rule: passengers are not allowed to sit in the driver's seat or touch the vehicle's controls. Policies outlined in Waymo's rider guidelines and onboarding materials, which explain that the front seat is reserved for the training personnel and off limits during public rides. I guess they haven't figured out a locking mechanism on that, huh? Why the seat exists at all? Because they're not perfect. One of the most common questions it raised in the TikTok section was also one of the most basic. If no one's allowed to sit there, why does the driver's seat even exist? Well, because they just told you got the trainers and service personnel. The answer is practical. Waymo's fleet is primarily electric Jaguar I-Pace SUVs retrofitted with the autonomous driving system, including LiDAR, blah, blah, blah. According to Waymo, the cars must remain fully drivable for testing, servicing, emergency recovery, and depot operations. Engineers, safety drivers, and technicians still manually operate the vehicles in controlled settings, which makes removing the driver's seat and steering wheel impractical and unnecessary. Blah, 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 blah. No video. Clearly, the people who are arguing the point with the front passenger seat don't have any common sense. Can't follow the rules. Think Elmo and his garbage cars are the norm, or political sneer. Don't sit in the driver's seat, period. And it's for reasons. Go back to fantasizing about your. Oh, wow. Why doesn't Waymo put something in the driver's seat to block it from being sat in, or at least to warn passengers? Well, there's all kinds of like stickers and stuff saying "Don't sit here" on the steering wheel. Could be something easily removable for when Waymo is doing work. Yeah, there's that too. So I was gonna say, just put inflatable obstruction there so that it's easy to throw in the trunk if needed. Put the autopilot from the movie Airplane in there. Auto. That would be fun. That would be fun. They didn't link the video with an embed, so it's gone. Silverado EV driver stops Kentucky Buc-ee's charged. Okay, so their charge ports are even in the correct location, so I don't see the problem here. Charging a Tesla stall, surrounded by Teslas, long line of vehicles. The chain had him covered. Now it's kind of funny because Buc-ee's only has Tesla chargers, but luckily they had a Magic Dock. Oh, he got lucky that the store had a Magic Dock. No, because the Magic Dock would be on the station itself. So then I was able to pull the cable it comes out with, and plugged right into the truck. Okay, so yeah, so the Magic Dock was right in the station. So yeah, what's the problem? Making a big deal out of nothing. Commenter sound off. In the comment section of the post, Hensley shared more information on his journey. He said he enjoys going to the Buc-ee's and spends a considerable amount of time there. When he doesn't, you know what? In fact, the Buc-ee's nearest me added Magic Docks, I believe, if I'm not mistaken in my recollection here. They weren't there, and now they are. Still V3 stalls though. The Kentucky Buc-ee's does indeed support Mercedes-Benz EV chargers too. Yeah, this one has Mercedes chargers around the other side of the property. That's a remark they weren't too happy with seeing non-Teslas utilizing. Why? They're all welcome first-party chargers now, except VinFast and Chrysler or Stellantis. As a longtime owner, my first was a Model S15. I don't know how to feel about this. Well, get over yourself. They were invited, open arms, and they accepted. Charging speed, someone else offered a reason as to why the car wasn't having its battery filled as quickly as he would like. The power split across 2 stalls. Yeah, so no. If it's able to charge a GM, then it's not split across 2 stalls. It's split across 4 to 8 stalls, and that's not why. Uh, the problem would be if you're trying to charge your GM vehicle while inside the GM vehicle, running the air conditioner, etc. Because the older ones aren't built for that, for whatever reason. Updated long article title. Completely unprepared EV charger owner gets lucky in a charging situation, hopes for more luck instead of actually doing research and buying an adapter. Oh, yes. Kenny, I agree. Surprised you didn't report on an Oakland CA. Mirai owners are also suing Toyota for the lack of support of hydrogen stations, and Mirai has an expiration of no refilling pass of 2036. People sue for anything nowadays. What? No, they were lied to. They were told that you can fill up anywhere and get fuel and blah, blah, blah. And the station's all shut down. So, no, they were fine. And then a Google scammer. Let's see. A few comments. We'll update Kenny. And then we'll report sucker as spammer. There. And next, we got 5 more of these. Tesla Model 3 has nearly 240,000 miles. Chips was broke. Again, upper control arms. 12-volt batteries. PTC heater. Let's see. I'm not watching the video. Oh, it was a taxi. Okay. Still has the original high voltage battery. I expected as much. Original motor, brakes. That's harder to do in commercial vehicles, but yeah, original brakes, okay. Original bodywork, that's to be expected. Original windows, again, to be expected. That's mighty impressive. Okay, sure. But it gets better still. There we go. Except for the steering wheel, which has seen better days. Probably should be replaced sooner rather than later. Interior is in great shape. Oh, I figured that the steering wheel probably would have already been replaced because it's an older unit. Same goes for some of the bodywork. Getting back to the big battery. Still going strong. 85.5% state of health. Not bad. I think that's better than my Model X's was before it got replaced. Not better than as it is now, though, I believe. I'll have to double check that. Let's double check now before I forget. I'm going to forget. Let's go into Tessie. And then let's click on the battery. And then let's click on energy. Oh, here's a heart. The battery is at 89.45% health with a 10.55% degradation. I wonder if this thing gets confused at the fact that I have a new battery. We've got ourselves a regular ice cream truck going on. Wi-Fi is off. Let's turn Wi-Fi back on. Yeah, the regular ice cream truck, not the grown-up ice cream truck. Oh, that's a cute little picture of my little daughter at the doorbell. Where are you at? Get here. Ah. Oh, it's gone. Sometimes I get a notification that clears all my notifications, which is stupid. Yeah. Look at that smile. I'm ringing the doorbell. Screw you, Daddy. Let's see. Big battery still going strong. All good news. There we go. Rear motor mounts. Interesting. Pedestrian warning sound speaker failed at 232,000 miles. Okay. That's one I probably would have let ride because I'm a I'm like that, seeing so every electrified car I've had so far has not had a noisemaker. Even that Model X Plaid that I drove for a couple days, it was old enough that it didn't have the noisemaker. I say that I did drive. Even the Model Y I drove didn't have one for whatever reason, but the Cybertruck did, and it had the new horn. Walk, walk. It's not really impressive. It makes the car up for maintenance costs by saving money in fuel. 92.6 megawatt hours of energy. That's significantly more than me. How many megawatt hours have I run through? Not that many. 28.2 megawatt hours coming from regenerative braking alone. Does this thing tell me how many? Might. All right, so on this car, I've burned 47 megawatt hours. And you combine that with Tesla-owned cars and my last one, and I might be giving him a run for his money. Which reminds me, I need to set a charging schedule because the rate change is coming. I also need to set a schedule for the batteries on the house, which are currently at 93%. 117 trickling in. I'll leave it be for now. Okay, that's cleaner than I thought it would be. They didn't even mention any upper control arms. But Rivian's adorable toy car might be one perfect last minute gift. Those are cute. Look at that. Oh my goodness. Yeah, it's probably got music in it. Let's see. Yeah, they've got music in there. Oh, R1S, R1T. The third one wasn't a bicycle. What was it? The R2? Yeah. I wonder if the Rivian facility here has them for sale. I need to go visit there and see what it is they do here. Probably closed on Sunday because it is the South. R1S. There's just two R1Ts and R1S. Is that what that was? Ah, Jurassic Park. Brontosaurus. Oh, the van. It was all their vehicles. I like it. Oh my goodness, it's so cute. Oh, I love that as a kid. All the more reason for me to go over to that facility and see what they are and if they have these in stock. It's cute. A messy action movie. Ah, that's cute. Only one at a time, though. We got the 3 bodies and the 1 skateboard. Oh. All right, continuing on. Watch me promptly forget to find out about Rivian in the city here. Love you fees, but I'm happy the bad ones are getting canceled. Updated. By Mac Hogan. Bad EVs need to go, but it can't happen soon enough. Correction. Earlier version of the story suggested that the VW canceling the 26 model year of the Buzz meant that the company would likely cancel it entirely. Spokesperson later clarified the buzz will be back for 27. Maybe it'll be back and closer to the promises that they've made us for the last 25 years about this vehicle. And the point will actually be a good one. Am I counting on that? I'm not. What I mean by bad EVs, I'd like to clarify by bad EVs. I know the ID Buzz and Lightning fans are already sounding off in the comments. These are not bad cars. On the contrary, I would have absolutely delighted to drive a Buzz or Lightning every day. Luxurious, practical, refined cars, but they're bad products. Both represent a 2018 era worldview of the EV market where mere participation would lead to boundless growth on soaring products. I'll give that to you. And consumers were desperate for electric powertrains, yeah, because we didn't have but 3 choices. And into thinking, so the electric versions of our existing iconic products must work. I guess more than 3. It was less than 10. You had 3SY, X. No, I wasn't out in 18. You had 3X and S, and then you had was Lightning. Lightning was not out, nor was the Mach E. Some of the Hyundais were. There was limited selection back then. You had the Leaf. The Leaf was not a road trip car ever. Doesn't mean that Patrick didn't do it, but it was not a road trip car. Surely, EVs have undeniable benefits, including cheaper fuel, virtually no maintenance. It's good they're gone. I don't disagree with him. Look at that. V4 posts. Precarious choice. To me, the smart move is obvious. Every dollar Ford spends incentivizing and producing current generation Lightning is a dollar it can't spend developing new EVs. Fair enough. This reads less like an analysis, more like an EV fanboy victory lap. Celebrating cancellations isn't insight; it's just clapping at failure and calling it a market discipline. You keep saying you love EVs, then dismiss the vehicles that people actually bought and used, Lightning, Buzz, as if real world utility and early adopter value don't count. I thought he made a decent point. For those of you thinking the Chinese EVs are great and we should have them here, Chinese electricity production, they're no environmental standard. I don't think that's. They might not always adhere, but they've definitely got them. All right, the PV5. I'd take the Kia any day, especially over the ID. And then we've got the silicone anode breakthrough. Good market turning point for EV batteries. Update. Updated with a comment from Mercedes-Benz. Cars and gadgets. Breakthrough on the horizon. Porsche backed. These look like the Blade batteries. Look at that there. Group 14 teamed up with New York-based Ionic Energy developed silicon anodes. Okay, it stands a chance, but the anodes were tested in 4 amp hour, 10 amp hour, and 20 amp hour pouch cells, where the companies claim the cells delivered stable performance at 45 degrees Celsius or 113 Fahrenheit and 60 C or 140 Fahrenheit. If you're new to the battery world, don't worry, we'll explain that in plain language. Anode graphite. Where's the update? Update. Mercedes-Benz did not deploy the tech on production version. That's what a Mercedes-Benz spokesperson told Inside EVs. Since the announcement in 22, market conditions around the world have evolved and partners are reevaluating this project. Mercedes-Benz and Sila Nano are looking into different options for bringing the Sila technology into production cars. So they dialed it back. See, this is why I don't jump on every new thing in the battery world, because so often than not, they don't turn out to be anything. So proof of concept and in production are several years apart. Yep. Call us back when the production starts. Exactly, PHEV fan. China's already been using silicon carbon anode batteries in devices such as smartphones. The smartphones are not cars, though. Feels like I've been reading articles about this new breakthroughs in battery technology for some time now, but not seeing any real changes in what's offered from OEMs. So there's that. Go ahead and close this down. Come back to you guys. I want to thank all of you for your time today. I want to thank Robert for coming in and moderating our X chat on the side, our X spaces. Hey, look, my popcorn bucket's in the screen. I want to thank our channel members for your continued monetary help with running the bills of this thing. And I want to thank everyone who spent their time here with us today. And also want to thank Brian at Futurasa for coming through and spending time in the chat today, and for all the times that you've spent time with us on screen as an end friend. And with that, this wraps up another year for us here for Let's Chat with Kacey and Friends. And I'm thankful for every last one of you. And I look forward to catching up with you guys again in the new year. So with that, I will catch you on the flip side.